Hey, Jared.
Yes.
Why doesn't modern AI feel as threatening as the Terminator?
Why doesn't it feel as threatening?
Why doesn't it feel as threatening? Yeah,
as
the
Terminator? Because it hasn't gotten the T-1000 status yet. That's why. I don't know why.
Because it still can't even get hands right.
That is true. That's when we know. That's when we start getting scared.
Yeah, when the hands,
when we can't tell with the hands. The hands look so realistic. Yeah. That's the next step. Evolution of AI.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time Film, a podcast where we discuss a director's filmography in chronological order. Currently covering James Cameron. Today we will be discussing Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So Jared,
yep,
you got to listen to the way people talk. You don't say affirmative or some crap like that. You say no problemo. If someone comes at you with an attitude, you say eat me. And if you want to shine them up, you tell them hasta la vista, baby.
That's right.
So my name is
chill out.
Chill out. Chill out. So my name is Josh, and this is my co-host Jared.
I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do. I guess I'll do the one. Josh, the future's not set. There's no fate but what we make for ourselves. Which I thought you were going to go with, because that's like the quote of this film.
Yeah. All right, so this is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Came out in 1991. Rated R, 2 hours and 17 minutes. A cyborg from the future, and identical to the one who failed to kill Sarah Connor, must now protect her 10-year-old son, John, from an even more advanced and powerful cyborg. This directed by James Cameron, written by James Cameron and William Wisher, cinematographer Adam Greenberg, and composer Brad Fiedel. How do you say? Is that how you say the last name?
I don't know how to say it.
Fiedel. Same team from Terminator 1. You know, use the same DP and composer.
Yep.
Production costs. What do you think the production cost of this was?
Well,
do you remember what Terminator 1
I was going to ask. Well, no, I was going to ask The Abyss even. Because Terminator was insanely low. But like
The Abyss was $70 million.
It's jumped up a lot. The Abyss was 70? Okay. Yeah, I remember it jumped up a lot. This is probably more than that. So, but how much more?
You think?
Yeah. Because I one of my first notes is like this movie looks way more modern. Like jump up, like style wise, and just the lighting in a lot of different aspects, which I want to get into and ask you about. But I'll say 100 million.
Yeah, 102.
Wow. Okay. I thought I was going to overshoot it with 100 even, because my gut was 80.
It was interesting because my guess would have been less than. Not that I think one looks better than the other, but
right.
The Abyss, like all the underwater shooting, had to be expensive. But dealing with that just makes everything more complicated. Where this is, and I mean, there's more visual effects maybe, but they used a good bit of the other effects in the Abyss. And
but this has a lot more set pieces and like a lot of explosions.
That's true.
Like that's what I kind of
more set pieces for sure
took into account.
But anyway.
Well, I'm basically revolutionizing visual effects in this too. So like that
setting
probably
the
budget went a lot into that.
Some cost,
like making this new technology or whatever they were innovating for this. I guess it's the simulations, right? The CG.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Simulations with the liquid. No, because that's right. That was in the Abyss.
Yeah,
that was where they started that. So I guess just reiterating it. I don't know.
All right, so this few Oscar noms and wins. Nominated for Best Cinematography, 1 Best Sound, nominated for Best Film Editing, 1 best effects sound effects editing, 1 best effects visual effects, and then 1 best makeup.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. 1 best sound too, but not score.
Not score, just sound effects. Well, best sound, yeah.
Yeah.
And sound effects. It's 2 separate ones. All right, so
what would that mean then? Because like when I think of best sound, I'm thinking sound design, but then sound effects, I would put into sound design. Yeah. So I don't know how they
maybe
would
best sound
break
is
it
more
up.
of like just the mix and the overall.
Yeah,
like
wouldn't they just call it mixing? Yeah, I don't know.
Factor in other things like, you know, the vocals and all that stuff. Like the talking and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so the cast that we have, we got Arnold Schwarzenegger again, Linda Hamilton again, and then we have Edward Furlong playing John Connor.
Yep.
Robert Patrick playing the T-1000. Then have Earl Bowen again as Dr. Silverman.
Yes.
That's kind of all I noted.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I mean, most of the time is pretty consistent. I mean, like, I think most of his films, he keeps the main core smaller to work with. But
he normally does, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So overall thoughts before we get into specifics.
So, trying to think of how I want to start. This also has been a while since I've seen this. Probably the same amount of time since I've seen T1.
Okay.
I don't remember how long ago it was, but this is in my opinion, this is the rare film that I think is way better than the original in like pretty much every way.
Yep. I agree.
Which is crazy and doesn't happen that often. Although, like, I'm thinking, is Empire really the only other comparison to this? That I think is better in pretty much every way from
I was going to say, is it better in every way? I don't know. I definitely think it's a better movie.
I think it is. But this, like, for sure, it's crazy. Like, and that's what I was saying. Like, even, I mean, the jump up in general of, like, budget, you can tell. But also, like, it just looked more modern than, like, Terminator 1.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't look as dated.
Didn't look as dated, no. Yeah. And it's just, I just think this movie's awesome.
It's still crazy because, you know, Terminator 1, and of course it was a few years prior. But, like that budget was what, like $7 million?
It's amazing what they did with that.
This was more than 10 times.
Yeah.
so it's crazy what they did. Of course, remember I think we read in the notes, or what do we call it? the trivia.
Oh, trivia. Yeah,
we read in the trivia that like they would sometimes just shoot with like a small enough crew and just do it instead of actually going through the permitting and doing everything. Like
just doing it. Yeah. No.
So I'm sure this time around they didn't do that.
No,
he's not definitely not. He's a little too well known and bigger production, but yeah. I mean, I agree. This is better than in all ways. Yeah. And I think this is where a lot of most of the visuals, memory, like scenes and stuff that I, over time forgot which ones from what movie.
Yes.
I think most of them came from this film.
For sure.
A lot of like iconic stuff. And then, it just works a lot better having the two Terminators, against each other. Makes it a little bit more feasible, right? Because when you had a human, Sarah Connor just fighting and trying to defend herself from, So
I have a note about her too, like insane difference in Sarah Connor as well from the first film. But what else was I going to say? Even the editing and pacing of this, which we did talk about, like T1 like was still good, especially compared to like we were talking about, like The Abyss was just like crazy long and just like you could really feel it. I mean, this is a pretty long film, and it definitely just goes. Like, it doesn't
Yes.
very exciting and intriguing the whole way too.
Yeah, it doesn't drag.
No.
Doesn't feel like there's filler.
That's why it's like, it's very high up there for like an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people will agree, like, it's very well regarded as one of the best.
There's some crazy action scenes in here
Yeah.
that, still like hold up to this day of like,
Hold up really well.
yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Let's get into a little bit, what happens in the movie and parts we like and don't like. I think the little prologue and then the introduction of the opening was done pretty well. And
Yes.
again,
Just like the first film.
yeah, first film, but now you got two people coming back at this time with Terminators. Did, of course, there was a little two things. One, they kept the flash lightning though of the.
I was going to ask you, how'd you feel about the lightning this time?
It was a little bit of improvement, but it's still
not much.
Doesn't look like it's part of the scene. It looks very, and then also when he shows up in the orb or whatever,
Yep.
that looked pretty fake.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's better to have it off camera, just like they did last time.
True.
Which is what they do with the T1000, because they don't want you to, I guess, see him yet, really what he looks like. But this time, of course, they had that little orb, and then they showed it like it had cut out a little bit of that truck that was in the air, which was kind of funny, and created a little divot in the ground.
Yeah.
So that was like little, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
and it's still really cool scene. It just very quickly can set up these two Terminators again and do it, like you said, pretty much in the same way that you're familiar with. Of course, we were asking, like we were talking about before in T1, how like why the whole naked thing, but then they explain that even like why they have to come like that and why they can't just like bring a bunch of stuff with them. Which I think is good too for this kind of movie. Any kind of sci-fi movie, whether they get really in depth with the lore or science fiction aspects of it, I think it's good for the world building and for just the story. I think it really helps to explain a lot of those things, because you have to really get into that, in my opinion, for it to be a really good, successful science fiction. 'Cause that's what it's all about. It's about the science.
Yeah.
And I think it just, you have to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I think this opening scene with him in the bar was also great. Great intro, and let's have some action and just remind us of how powerful these guys. But also, it's at this point, if you were watching this for the first time, it's a little ways into the movie before you realize he's not bad.
Yes,
which is another thing that is a big reveal that I want. And I don't know if they kept that pretty well hidden, probably in the marketing. So like you're going to assuming he's bad, like he's trying to kill him as well.
Brilliant on their part to do that and not like. And you see, I imagine the trailer is that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool. I like, just to stick with the intro. We hear, I think it's Sarah Connor saying "A War Against the Machines," Judgment Day, all that, which is part of this opening.
Yeah, they use her voice for a voiceover.
We already mentioned holds up incredibly well. I would say even at this point, for this opening scene and the scenes we just talked about, where you see them come back, the Terminators, you can immediately tell huge jump in production and budget. Like I could tell immediately, like watching this time, and it just feels way more an epic scale, and that continues through the film. And then I want to ask, because this is something with the lighting, with the opening Judgment Day thing, but then also with the two Terminators coming back, the lighting looked really modern to me and looked different. How'd you feel about the lighting? And do you agree with that? I don't know. There was something about it that looked...
Well, it didn't have quite the noir look that the first one had. They did dial that back.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because the first one they tried to do that.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
true.
tech noir is what, remember they even he called it that. And I think they dialed that back a little bit to make it not so dark.
Okay.
But I think and then also I think on the first one that was a cheat to try to, I mean, it helps have
Yes. Helps mask some of the the effects. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Then so then we get introduced to Sarah in this one, and that was funny. It was like, oh, James Cameron likes his women doing pull-ups. So it's
Sure
like
does.
in Aliens.
He loves like strong, capable women, and it's kind of crazy that like he's now responsible for both because I guess Ridley Scott did it technically first, but still, like the character as a whole, like James Cameron's responsible for like two of the biggest like action female characters we have that are like really great and written really well in Ripley and Sarah Connor.
Sure.
And like not that much in T1, but I'll say in my note, like it's incredible, like just how much cooler and how much like better Sarah Connor is in this. She looks way better. She's jacked in this. Her outfit's way cooler. She's even right off the bat, and we see this later too, but she's like clearly way more capable in general and does a lot more.
Oh yeah, she's been training for 10 years.
She's also way more prepared. I think it's crazy that I shouldn't say crazy, but I guess like a bold decision to also then where she starts, in the hospital in this, but like they infuse that into the character, but it doesn't like degrade the character at all, but they infuse this element of like, she's kind of going crazy, but also it makes sense because she knows like what all is going to happen. And so it's a big part of her character in this and why she's in the hospital, but it doesn't take away, I should say, from how just awesome she is in this and how much she does. So it's just like the character in general. That's why I think in like so many ways, just like I said, the film is just so much better in every way from T1. Like she is also as a character. Like she's way more layered too. Like I said, it's because they're infusing all this mixed in with like a very strong, capable leader.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Of course, then that goes on to her son is like takes on the leader role because we don't have, what's his name? Michael Biehn anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you think of her?
Yeah,
Do you
no,
agree with all that? Okay.
I think even just from an acting standpoint,
Oh, yeah.
you could see a lot of growth and
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton as an actor. Yeah. And for the most part, even, I forget the name of the kid, the actor.
Edward Furlong.
Edward Furlong, yeah.
Yeah, John Connor. Yeah.
Like he did pretty good. It wasn't annoying for the most part, which is, can be with kid.
It probably would be in trivia, but I think I heard there was like kind of a crazy story of how they got this kid in the film.
Okay.
I don't know the whole story, but it'll probably be in trivia. But yeah, he did overall. Like, I thought he was really good. There's only like I think a few moments where I was like, but like as a whole, like that's hard to do. Find like a really good.
Yeah.
That's like a main character. Yeah.
And then they just talking about the T-1000. I guess it was when the first time they interacted.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
I mean, his performance is great.
Oh yeah.
Very non-human.
Yes.
But the first time him and Schwarzenegger, fight off, and you get like they start showing his defects of him like changing.
So cool. Yeah.
I can imagine, when you saw that for the first
Mind
time.
blowing, yeah.
Yeah. And I know they were used because I feel like I remember, because obviously this was
91.
Yeah, 91. So at this point, I'm old enough to remember. Like I remember even seeing the trailers because they showed this scene where he goes through the glass, of the helicopter.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like that was in the trailer, so they kind of spoiled some stuff. But it's hard not to, like, because
You
you're
gotta
so
show it off
cool.
to
You gotta
someone,
show it
yeah.
off to get people to show up. But at the same time, I mean, it would have been really insane if they had kept all that under wraps too.
But to their credit, they still kept a lot of, like you mentioned. Like, we would assume from the trailer going into this film, everyone thought
I guess
Arnold
I honestly
Schwarzenegger's
don't remember.
still going to be a right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they did.
I think
maybe
they did. Though. I want to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to think they would. I mean, that would. Yeah. It is also funny, just, and I agree with you 100%. Like Robert Patrick, like, so great in this, but it's funny. Like, he's in so much, but like, it's so funny to see him now. Like, he is in Peacemaker. You know, it's like John Cena's dad. Like, it's just funny the stuff we see him in now is so different. Obviously, he looks way different too.
Yeah.
But 1923, I think, was the other thing recently he was in. But he's done a lot.
I didn't watch that, but
It's good.
yeah. And then I mean, the action scene where that starts, I guess, there at the mall,
Yes.
the arcade, and then like carries. I mean, they end up in. The T-1000 ends up in the truck, and he just drives it off the bridge to go into the drainage things. What do you call it? Those are like
Yes.
classic filmed in LA. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's like so many movies use those for car chases and whatever. But I don't know if I'm sure it was used at some point before this. But
Very well known. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of movies.
yeah. But that.
Also
was a
mentioned
great action sequence that just kind
Yes.
of kept going on.
the T-1000, the run, iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it's mainly like the like sword finger or hand thing that comes out of him at times is just like so cool. Obviously he can be a lot of different shapes and things, but like so cool. The blade,
The
like
first
kind
time
of
you
thing.
see it when he impersonates the foster parents, and he like
Yes, I guess that is the first time.
and
Yeah,
he's like stabbed the foster dad like through the and it's pretty
crazy.
pretty well. So then they kind of they do that, and then they get away, and then they end up going to find Sarah, and they kind of free her.
It's a great scene.
Yeah,
The scene going to the hospital.
but the
This is where you really see how capable she is already too, and what else she does.
Yep. And then she finds out about who's the one that actually invents the stuff for the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes off to kill Tyson, which is a crazy scene / moment for her.
What is that's his something Morton, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find his name, but this dude is so good in this. Like, I was this time watching it, I was just like, his performance is just I was blown away by in this. Joe Morton, Miles Dyson. Yeah, I was gonna remember the actor's name, Joe Morton. Yeah, so good. Especially like how he goes out at the end. Incredible scene.
Yeah, like that's something I remember.
Yes.
Like it's like a
Very memorable.
distinct, memorable scene.
Like even the way he's breathing
Yeah,
and like and holding that. Yeah.
And then it just
Crazy.
like cuts. Yeah, just so well made.
Amazing explosion on that too. That was like,
Yeah. So, but this like leads to like it's such a funny thing because it's like this is the loop of time travel, right? Like it's like, well, he invents this stuff because of what was left over from the Terminator 1 parts,
Right.
which is what gives him inspiration to even know how to make this stuff. But
but
then
you
it's
can
like,
tell how much he puts it on himself, where he's like, he basically thinks he's like solely responsible.
yeah,
Like
but
he puts it all on himself, even though it's not just him.
right. But I'm talking about like the plot hole, like
Oh,
of like the
okay.
of
Not the
story.
technology itself. You're talking about the
some of the story loop of like the only reason he invented stuff is because he was inspired by the technology that was
Right.
left behind. But then if
Well,
it wasn't invented, they would never been left behind.
Yes, I know what you're saying. This is yes, this is the thing, yeah, that everyone can argue about in time travel plots, but it's also kind of it's kind of just a chicken and egg thing.
Yep.
You can't really either way is right.
But yeah, so
Or what came first, the music or the misery? What's that from, Josh?
I don't know. What is it?
I know you know what that is. That's High Fidelity.
Oh, yes.
It's the way the movie starts. Literally, that's the first line. It's so good.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Obviously,
One of my favorites.
yeah. So I would think it's a little bit more.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I figured you liked it a lot too, but actually, you know what? I remember you being more of an Empire Records guy.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, because
Those are
kind of
both good.
similar film.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, so we get that great action scene at the lab, which we were just talking about, but then even leading up to that, and he, so we get the helicopter, and he like takes all these people
good.
out without killing anybody because
yeah.
John Connor's like, you can't kill people.
I will say because like right before this, I think is when it happens. This kind of lead into, guess this would now then all be the third act, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say probably right before the third act or end of second act. Another one of I think I kind of forgot about, and another scene that I was like, I think this is like visually the best thing in this film. One of the best things in this film is the vision that Sarah has, the nuclear vision or whatever. I guess it's kind of just a nightmare. It's not really a vision. It's like looked insanely good still. And like the scale of it, like and then the final thing is like her.
Mm-hmm.
You see her dying, like, and even going into like the skeleton, just like crazy, awesome scene that I forgot about, and still looks really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a potential future. That's why I call it a vision, but it's more just her having a nightmare about it. But obviously, could happen. And then the kind of note I have for the third act is I think just the final 40 or so minutes, maybe half an hour, is just like an incredible action film. Like it just from here on out, it's just like it's a crazy what all happens. And you were already mentioning that the helicopter stuff, them going in there.
Yeah.
It's just
like it's just continuous.
Yes.
And it's so the
It just
most
goes,
part,
yeah.
it feels doesn't feel it feels natural, it feels possible in this world, obviously with the rules like with these guys. But him jumping from whatever the third floor or whatever to get it landing into the helicopter and just taking it, and then him like trying to like them in the police van and like stopping it and back and forth. Then the all the stuff leading up to even the liquid nitrogen moment, which is like another iconic thing. Of course, otherwise, like the one thing I felt was like very repetitive, from the last movie.
Okay.
For the first movie, the ending, them being in like this industrial like thing where this time instead of it's just like that part was like, okay, this is the same.
I thought the same thing. I think it's just a place Cameron loves because both Terminator films and Aliens. We mentioned it when we were talking about that too. Very similar.
Yes.
Kind of spot in the ending, and that's why I remember when we did the T1 pod, I asked him like, "Oh, I remember him doing the thumbs up into the and then it's just like it." Because that was one of the things you were talking about, where it's like, what scenes that are in your mind happen in which film? And obviously it turned out a lot of them is T2, more than I thought, but that's when I always remember. But like, that could have been either film because it's literally the same kind of industrial lava area. Yeah.
Yeah. The, but the electric nitrogen thing was so memorable, and then all the pieces starting to merge back together.
Well, all the forms he takes on first, but then like, yes, the way he gets like the huge hole when he gets shot, but then like, yeah, when he completely like splits in half or like kind of
shatters, like when the liquid nitrogen shatters him.
Oh, I'm talking about right before that where it's like he's almost in half, but his head is kind of like off to the side. It's so cool the way the look of his
was that there?
body.
I thought that was later when he almost ends up in the hot stuff.
Well, what are you talking about? The liquid nitrogen that shatters.
That's like right when the truck wrecks initially, and there's like liquid nitrogen freezes him.
Oh, yes.
That's what the liquid
You're
nitrogen,
right.
it freezes him.
That's a little earlier, yeah.
And he shatters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sick.
And then, but then all the pieces start to warm up, and then.
You're right. That's another crazy visual that memorable. Yeah.
Then the the emotional moment of even have to destroy him. Then them knowing that on the T-800, the Arnold's like character has to be destroyed as well, so that there's no evidence of
destroy his microchip too.
Yeah,
which is a good setup because we see way earlier where they have to like patch him up, and they actually go in. And you see some of this before in T1 when he's patching himself up, but in this they go into the whole thing where she's literally going into his head, taking out the microchip. So you kind of get an idea more of how everything works with these Terminators, and I think it's just a good setup because it makes this ending more impactful, for sure. My other quote I had that I didn't say, but I think is good and could have easily been very cheesy, but actually is like, I think actually like pretty heartfelt and actually emotional in the ending, is when he says, "I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do." Because early in the film he asks,
what is
John,
that?
why are you crying? Or like, what are you doing?
He doesn't even know what to call it.
It's good. So yeah, that ending scene, like that could have gone really bad dialogue wise, but it's good.
All right, let's get into a little bit of the cinematography.
Yep.
So you said you had some stuff you wanted to before we get.
No, mine's more of just a general thing.
Okay.
But do you have anything in particular?
I mean, I think we kind of alluded to earlier about this better in every way, but
yeah,
I think the again showing but the maturity as a director that we saw a little bit
it's
in
a good way to explain it.
Bess, where like all the action scenes are like not chaotic like they were in like Aliens and Terminator 1. And some of that's, again, budgetary reasons, but I think there's also like confidence in what you're doing that you see here. And I think that really comes through in the cinematography of all the action scenes in this. It's like you're seeing what's happening and you're seeing it, and it still is visually impressive, which is, again, like a sign of some maturity in that area.
It's a good word for it. Yeah, you can see him really mature and grow as a filmmaker, and it also just, like I said, it feels way more. Well, it feels way more epic, obviously, for sure, in the scale of it, but it feels more modern. Like, it feels like more of a modern movie to me, even compared to the original film. Even though we praised how much the original, like, it's amazing what they did with that film, especially on that budget. But like, this feels, I don't know, besides a few things, like, it doesn't feel that dated of a film in general. I think it holds up really well. It's like, could be released like in, I don't know, around now as an action movie. And like I said, besides a few little effects things, I think could be released now.
Yeah. Obviously the visual effects we talked about a lot already, but the liquid metal effect was it's like crazy. Still pretty sick concept.
Yeah, and still like actually looked really good in this.
Yeah,
I thought
most of the time. Like there's a few moments where like, but most of the time it looked really good.
Yeah. Just like in the we mentioned that in the Abyss. Like some of the water effects were still really cool.
Yeah, and then good mix of it has like the blue colors mixed with orange, like a lot of like back and forth from like the no emotion or robotic blues and versus like the warmth oranges, the human warmth kind of thing. There's a lot of that going on here that was pretty good.
That's
Use of it.
I never thought of it that way, but that's you're right. It is a lot of those two colors that definitely fits those two feels very well. My thing for cinematography overall, we already talked about. One of the things is just the lighting. I thought just looked way better. But also kind of to just like expand a little bit more on what I was saying before is this film, and then only a couple years later, Jurassic Park as well. I think these two are like kind of our main films that pioneered modern CG.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, definitely.
Or like, and then what everything kind of built off of. Now, it's a stepping stone because obviously you could also talk about kind of thing that really set up to like another big evolutionary step was the Star Wars prequels and Lord of the Rings, right? Because that was the first time they did like a ton of like, let's say, CG characters at one time, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was another big jump up. But I think this is a big jump in itself. These films from the early 90s.
Well, let's go to the score. Anything new? I mean, I just put down the good use of this, the classic the theme from the first one. Like, just it was so good that but they really used it well in this again to emphasize the intensity or the doom coming from. I mean, it's almost like the Jaws like level of not like just when it's like the Terminator's coming for you.
Yeah.
Like, and of course it switches it more. It's like on the T-1000 now, and Arnold's character is doesn't get it. But
what's so great about it? Because I agree, and this one, it's the main theme again, but this time they add more elements to it. I noticed when they're doing the main theme, which again kind of plays into the movie in itself just being bigger and more epic. So I think it's a great way that they built on that main theme. Also, what's so cool about that main theme is like what you said, where it doesn't even have to be that main melody. It's literally just that drum sequence alone. So it can literally just be that drums thing, and that's it. Yep. But then you add the melody on top of it, which is awesome.
Yep.
And then again, like I said, in this one, they incorporate a lot more in that to make it bigger and more impactful. But yeah, it's cool. It's great that if you can make something that simple be memorable, like obviously John Williams has with so many different things, but this guy also with this did with that percussion line. Yeah, it's awesome. There's one more, the very opening scene where we kind of see it's when she's seeing the VO, and we're seeing like the kids swinging in different shots, right? Really good that I don't think you hear later at all in it, but it's like this really haunting strings that are going at that point that were so good. And I kind of wish they would have like did that later, because they didn't even do it during the nuclear thing, which kind of showed the similar sort of shots. But just like amazing opening cue.
Cool. All right, themes and messages. What are you feeling?
I mean, there's a lot in this. Definitely, especially similar to T1. But for this, I honestly, I just wanted to ask you a question, which I think we kind of talked about in T1. But do you realistically think Skynet, or obviously something like that, could actually happen and take over?
I mean,
or take over in a way like, obviously, like, because we refer to for it to where AI is at, or where AI could potentially go.
I mean, the way they explain it, yeah, I don't think it's that far. I mean,
Right.
I could see where, yeah, they put some type of. I mean, there's some of it. What like Tony Stark tries to do, similar type of thing, and
Yeah.
where it's like this, like
For
just
Ultron.
like this overarching thing to like help defend, and be like, oh, and then it, you want it to be self-sufficient, and then things get out of hand. I mean, the thing is, like, what I always say how this is, like, the reality of actual artificial intelligence
Yes.
is still, I don't know if that's attainable
In our lifetime?
and even if it is, like, anytime soon, like,
Right.
which is what they're calling super intelligence, or some, they have a different term now because AI's been
It's not
reused.
what AI is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because it's not even really a thing that thinks for itself, really.
Right.
It's just a
Well,
smart
that's
way to
what he
analyze
says.
data.
What Arnold says when he's talking about it, he doesn't use the word self-aware, but he says something about Skynet. Like, he says in the date of when, like,
When it became
sentient. I don't know what he says.
and then that's when it took over. So and it had,
Which,
like,
I don't know.
started a war with Russia, is what he said.
Yeah, and is that what they're referring to as Judgment Day, or is that a different day? Because I thought that was
I
an
don't
actual
know.
date that you're seeing, like, from when they showed in T1 at the beginning and in this film.
Not sure.
Yeah,
Not sure.
me neither.
Not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to it.
I mean, obviously that's what's leading up to this. That's why this is called Judgment Day, this film. But
yeah.
A little bit of that has always been unclear to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you have for themes? I just wanted to ask that, like, the whole, like, just comparing it to where we're at in
for
2026.
me, I mean, I put, like, the theme is around, even if a machine can learn to change and care about humans, then humans can definitely do that. It's kind of like the like,
for sure,
the thing there at the end that comes through. So, yeah. So let's do a little trivia.
Yeah.
So Robert Patrick undertook a rigorous running regimen and practiced breathing only through his nose in order to appear to be a cyborg that could run at high speeds without showing fatigue. He had trained so hard that he was able to catch up to Edward Furlong on his dirt bike with ease.
Dang.
So he was really actually catching him on the dirt bike. That's crazy. Says the production took sufficiently long enough that Edward Furlong's growth caused the production team to have to make certain adjustments during the shoot. He's noticeably younger in the desert scene than he is in other scenes.
I was actually going to mention that because
his voice began to break, had to be pitched, adjusted in post, so you'd sound the same.
So that I didn't notice as much. So I guess they did a good job with the VO, like his voice. But there were points. It is noticeable, like he looks younger and older. And yeah, the desert. The rest of the time you can't tell as much, but that is a big thing, is that point, because the desert part is halfway through the film, or maybe like a quarter way in, and like Yeah, you can. That's where you can actually tell. It's pretty funny.
This is crazy. So Linda Hamilton's twin sister, Leslie Hamilton, was used as the double in scenes involving two Sarahs. As an example, when the T-1000 was imitating her.
I didn't even know she was a twin.
Mm-mm.
But that's sick.
That's crazy. There was concerns how realistic CGI would look when it came to the helicopter going under the bridge, so the pilot just did it for real.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
He's just like, yeah, I'm just going to do this. Did they win for that? Because, like, that's, I guess clearly at this time, that was probably the hardest stunt or never been done before.
There was nothing about wins for stunts, so I don't know. But there's no stunt.
That's right. They didn't do it till later, yeah.
Is there even a stunt? I think they just added one.
They're recognizing it more now.
Yeah, but they just added them, like, in the last year
Oh, no,
or two.
I'm thinking of, like, them being credited in the actual film. Didn't start till, I think, the 80s. Like, stunt actors at all weren't even credited in the film until a certain point. That's what I'm thinking of. But award-wise, yeah, you're right. It was just... Didn't Chad Stahelski have a big say in that? Because... director of John Wick, but he started as
I don't know.
or maybe he won, or he was one of the first to win, but I think he had a big part in that, trying to make that a thing.
Let's see. Do they do stunt?
I think you're right, though. It just started like a past few years, adding that as a category.
So it says, yes, Academy Motion Picture Achievement. And this is a new competitive category which debuted at the 100th Academy Awards. And it's just getting added. It's going to get added in 2028 for films released in 2027. So it's still not.
Wow.
Well, this is for its achievement in stunt design. Yeah, Stunt Design Awards. Yeah, there's a bunch of deadline. Yeah. So they actually still haven't added it.
That's crazy.
But it's coming.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to say Industrial Light and Magic's computer graphics department had to grow from 6 artists to almost 36 to accommodate all the work required to bring T-1000 to life, costing $5.5 million and taking 8 months to produce, which ultimately amounted to 3.5 minutes of screen time.
I had a feeling it had to have been ILM because they were always the ones that kind of...
They were like the only ones that existed until like late. I mean, there was like nothing until like, I think maybe in the 2000s there should be other studios.
But they're like almost always the ones responsible for like those big
definitely in early years. I mean, now
now there's plenty of others.
Yeah, especially the de-aging stuff. There was one, there's
that's right. That was a whole
company.
Thing.
Now I'm forgetting their, but there's a studio that revolutionized that. And so there's other ones that kind of have expertise in other areas now, but yeah, from the 80s all the way through into the 2000s. So for at least 2 decades, probably ILM was like basically the only one that existed.
Yep.
Well, I think that's kind of covered. I didn't really see much else that was anything. I didn't see anything about what you were talking about. Like, so.
Oh, it was just how Edward Furlong was involved. Anyway, I think I just heard a story of how like they found him really randomly. Yeah. Like that actor, I don't think he did anything, and I don't know if he did after this either. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
much of a career or not. But
final thoughts.
Just I'll reiterate, it's one of the rare sequels that like surpasses the original in every way. Like that's not done hardly ever, in my opinion. So,
well, I would say this is definitely his best film so far.
Yeah. I think you're right.
In my opinion.
Yep.
It's not a right or wrong answer. It's just my opinion because someone else could have this.
I think I agree with you. Yeah, so
Okay.
far.
Yeah.
This is his best.
I think this one definitely really holds up
Yes.
in all aspects, and it's well worth the watch if you haven't seen it in a long time or ever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't seen it ever, definitely watch the first one, even if it's a little rough on the edges.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
But then, like, after this, though, it's like, I don't think I've really seen any other ones, but, like, it's just...
All the other Terminator movies.
Right,
Yeah, I
and
know
there's
that
so
I've
many
seen.
now, but then it just all went downhill
Yeah.
after T2.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't...
Just
really,
sad,
I don't know if
but-
I've seen any of them either.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yep.
Because the cool world, cool content.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, how do you guys feel about T2 or any of what we said in this episode? Please let us know. Give us feedback.
Let us know if there's one of the other Terminator films that actually is decent.
Is there,
Besides
what's
T1 and T2.
Yeah, what other Terminator movies are good that we maybe should visit?
Yeah.
Check out. Be good to watch those, and not too far off from watching this. So
For sure.
yeah, let us know. You can do that by emailing us at feedback@screentimepod.com or just leave a comment or a DM. And all of you that already follow and like and subscribe, we appreciate it. But those of you who don't, you can do so on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and YouTube, and then on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yes.
And if you'd like, you can follow each of us individually on Instagram. I'm at J Youngbar.
And I'm at Jerry Youngbar.
All right. Catch you guys next time.